Everybody laughed. Now Trish Regan, she's going to go deep on this because she really cares. And she's really upset by what Andrew Cuomo said.
Talking about Venezuela when they talk about socialism. They say, how can you possibly talk about Venezuela? We're talking about Denmark. But you know what? As Shakespeare said, there's something rotten in Denmark. Denmark too, folks, because Denmark's freebies, well, they're anything but free. Let's talk about this because we're talking about a tax rate, a federal tax rate of 56%. In other words, everyone in Denmark is working for the government. And this doesn't even include the 25% value-added tax. That, everything else there costs 25% more. Or gosh, I mean, take a look at cars. They have a 180% tax on cars. You pay more in taxes than you do on the actual car. And no one wants to work. This is a real problem because they're heavily in debt. But as of 2013, only 3 of the country's 98 municipalities actually had more than half the population working. And I haven't even gotten to school. School's free. Yeah. University's free. That's lovely.
Right.
And they have a program there. It's supposed to take you 5 years. But you see, not only is school free, they actually pay you basically $990 a month to go to school. Not bad, eh?
Yes.
Well, you know what happens then? Nobody graduates from school. They just stay in school longer and longer and longer. I mean, what's supposed to take you 5 years is taking everyone 6+ years.
Trish.
Because that's the reality of socialism. As one person who studied Denmark said, nowadays, all the kids graduating from school in Denmark, they want to start cupcake cafes. Nothing wrong with cupcakes. I think Magnolia here in New York is pretty successful. But in other words, nobody's incentivized to do anything because they're not going to be rewarded. Denmark, like Venezuela, has stripped people of their opportunities. Is that the direction that we want to go in?
Actually,
Sanders likes it. This woman from Queens likes it. And a lot of young Democrats are now looking at these two as their future.
Well, I don't know what this woman from Fox likes, but I will say that actually Denmark has higher rates of social mobility. Obviously, the baselines on things like poverty and everything, they score better across all indexes. In fact, even according to Heritage Foundation, it's the least corrupt government in the world and has a better entrepreneurial and innovation culture with leading tech firms. And if you even out basically the taxes she's talking about with all of the private taxes and private obligations you have in the United States, it actually evens out. And also in terms of, I don't know, young hipsters wanting to start cupcake cafes, you think that this is a unique system, a unique symptom of Danish socialism? I don't know if you've been to anywhere else in New York besides Magnolia, but the young people starting cafes thing is pretty trendy. Just maybe the difference in Denmark, you might actually be able to get some support and investment under it versus here, it only being the province of people with wealthy family connections. But all that being said, and then we'll tee off on it, I do want to, do we have the other video ready? Because why have us respond to Trish Regan's nonsense when we can have actually a official from Denmark respond point by point? This is a Now This News clip, and then we will go to you.
There's something rotten in Denmark.
Fox News host Trish Regan has made a story in which she compares Denmark to Venezuela.
Denmark, like Venezuela, has stripped people of their opportunities.
Okay, let's just clarify a few things. Trish, you're wrong. You can't compare Denmark to Venezuela. We have a welfare state in our country. This means that our society provides opportunity for people. It doesn't strip people of possibilities in their life.
And no one wants to work. This is a real problem.
This is not true. According to the OECD, Denmark rates 11 places higher than the US unemployment rate. The difference, of course, being that in Denmark, people are paid a decent wage.
School's free. University's free. That's lovely.
Actually, it is.
But you see, not only is school free, they actually pay you. Not bad, eh?
That is not bad. That means that it's not the size of your parents' bank account that decides whether or not you get an education. It's your hard work, it's your talent, it's your motivation.
Well, you know what happens then? Nobody graduates from school, they just stay in school.
Of course people graduate. According to World Economic Forum, on a list of the best educated populations, we rank number 6. Quite a bit better than the US. Sorry.
Nowadays, all the kids graduating from school in Denmark, they want to start cupcake cafes.
I wish that was correct because I love cupcakes. Unfortunately, it's not. It could be though, because according to Forbes list over countries with best opportunities for businesses, Denmark rates far better than the US. So Trish, pretty much everything you said is untrue, or as your beloved president would put it,
you are fake news.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
I love it.
Have you guys, do you think she's been to Denmark? Have you guys been to Denmark?
I have not been to Denmark. I have no idea. I don't feel like Trish doesn't seem like a Denmark vacation kind of person. She seems kind of like a Cancun and yell at waiters kind of person.
My brother studied abroad there. He said it was great.
It wasn't a socialist hellscape.
No, he didn't talk. He when I ask him about the no-go zones, he gets a little bit skittish. But
right.
I have been to Copenhagen, actually.
How was it?
About 7 or so years ago. It was great.
Did you breathe in the lack of freedom and just smile at all of the lack of work and ambition there?
Yeah, totally. I actually stayed with a guy who used to be my roommate in Brooklyn, and he had his own apartment where he lived by himself. He had a job with the state TV station doing some kind of graphic.
Hold up. He had a job?
He did have a job. He was very well paid to do some kind of like computer graphics. There were bike lanes everywhere. We rode bikes all over the place. They were very nice, well-maintained streets. And we were actually biking past. He gave us a little tour, you know, because Danes are very friendly and hospitable. We were biking past some nice looking buildings, and he said that is some public housing. And we're like, wait, but that looks like all the other buildings. And he's like, yeah, they didn't want the people living in public housing to feel bad about it or be isolated. And we were like, wow, what a concept.
Oh, you didn't say to yourself, oh my God, that's so disgusting.
Here's the thing though, like that
Call
guy's
Trish Regan.
And he's got a nice house, a great job. He's got, he feels pretty comfortable about most things, but he doesn't understand the feeling of freedom that we have in America. And maybe he did when he lived here for a little while, like that anxiety of not knowing if you're going to be able to make it to the end of your lease with enough money or whatever else.
Right. He didn't have the he wasn't working 2 different jobs with 4 different roommates trying to beg his parents to get like a short-term loan, even though they'd been laid off, just so he could afford groceries. He didn't have that invigorating, beautiful feeling. And then looking on television screens and looking on the his phone to see that Jeff Bezos just stashed more in half an hour than he would even see in a lifetime, even though he was working full time. He didn't enjoy that powerful, beautiful feeling you get when you see those stories and live that reality.
And there were actually 6 roommates in this apartment where we lived together. So there you go.
I apologize. Like Trish Regan, I don't always get all my facts right.